Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Norway live session with the Norway team. We're joining you again on a Sunday afternoon, and very happy to bring to you our topic for today, which is a beautiful, all-encompassing, encapsulating, I think, energy of the universe, which is really the power of human connection. And we're going to talk and discuss about that and share our views and how powerful is this and how truly important this is, this human connection. As human beings, we are designed and we are psychologically, physically, chemically, spiritually wired and configured by our creator to seek that sense of belonging, that sense of love, that sense of connection. And the sense of love, the sense of belonging cannot come about until, of course, we connect with other human beings. And which is why I think this topic has such great impact and meaning. So let's take it from here, Dr. Hafza and Misha. Power of human connection. None of us can deny the power of human connection. And here we are in this, uh, this cosmic chaotic, universe where we are all like in our own places and we have our own challenges and our own struggles and relationships and our own roles that we are fulfilling. And how much of a human connection does one need, really,
Yeah,
Dr. Hafza?
I think, given that we're healthcare professionals, I feel like our profession banks on it. First
Hmm.
up, we really need to be able to understand what our patient needs in order to be able to provide them that care that they want.
Yeah.
You have to find that connection of the needs and the wants. And for that, it's very important to be a person who is good at making human connections and be practiced at it. It matters a lot because good communication with one another stems from having a strong human connection. It's said that kindness is a universal language. Likewise, a lot of universal languages are given away from one human to another, and it's very important to be able to understand those little cues in each other's body language. They make you a much better person. They make you a much better care provider. For me, I think it makes me a better care provider trying to work on human connection.
Yes, agreed. And of course, like especially, but I think it's something that you require in every aspect of your life, but especially as healthcare providers, you have to create that human connection, and it comes about from, like you said, like compassion, practicing compassion, kindness, and that's where it plays a key role. Misha, what are your views on how what is like describe how powerful this human connection can be? How does it impact people's lives? Is it really so important? What's its significance in your view?
human connection is everything, in my opinion. That without connection, we are not human.
Uh,
So,
so beautifully.
human, yeah. So, human being is we are social animals. So,
Mm.
we need that connection in order to survive. We need that connection in order to be heard. We need that connection in order to grow. We need that connection to create an impact. We are all doing something for someone. So we are driven by, if we are driven by, people are actually driven when they are, and they have something to do for another. So that's
Yeah.
what the power of connection is. So this power of connecting just makes this world beautiful, because people are only doing stuff for you because you are there for them, and they want to be heard, they want to be seen, and they want to be felt. And when you give them that warmth, that space, okay, we are here for you, to make it that we are here to listen to you, we are here to give you that feedback. So that's the importance of human connection. And here we also are making connection with each other and making a connection with our community, that
Yeah.
every week we do these podcast series to make a connection with our viewers, in order to make this society that we have created a better from our own part. So this is what human connection is, power of human connection is.
beautifully, described and said, Misha. Well done. And I'm so glad because that's the point that I had in mind, and I'm so glad that you brought it up. So I'm going to start with, yeah, like that's what we are trying to do here at the Norn Way. This is all about making that human connection, and like you said, human connection. We're not human unless we have connection, unless we
Right.
connect to each other, because that's like a intrinsic, instinctive, innate need that has been put into us. And I think human connection is absolutely magical. It's transformative. And the minute you connect positively in any manner, in relationships, Habza brought up work, healthcare professionals, any profession, interpersonal relationships, social relationships, any aspect, any sphere of life, it makes uh, it's transformative and it is magical, and that is why one of the greatest people that have that we have heard on the planet, and philanthropers, like Mother Teresa. We know about our own Mr. Edhi, who passed away, Indira Gandhi, so many philanthropers. Why have they been so loved, and why have they made such magical transformative changes on this planet? They have not just done it just out of merely doing for people. It was that need, and that that intent, and that wanting to connect with people, and transform societies and communities and make a real impact and change in the world. So yes, I think that is really how powerful human connection is. It is, in fact, I think one of the most powerful human, I think you can call it like our abilities that has been given to us as well. We have the ability as human beings to connect, and we all must harness it. Another thing that I want to talk about is that not everybody, how you say that this person is a people's person, this person is really good at PR, this person is really good at networking. So you have those people who are naturally blessed with that quality. They'll enter a room, they'll enter a conference, they'll enter whatever relationship, and they'll just connect. They have that naturally in them to just connect immediately. But then you have other people as well who are quiet, who are not, who don't naturally connect so easily. And I think for them, they are those, people who tend to get, sort of isolated more, or, not understood, or not heard, or misunderstood. So, when it comes to social settings, right, our social relationships, um, human connection plays an important role. So I want to ask you now, Misha, that what is a social connection? What does social connection mean to you, and how important is it to have positive social relationships in regards to human connection in our lives?
So social connection is basically extremely important. That as I have already mentioned, and in order to start my perspective, let me quote something Tony Robbins had said: "People like people who they found something in common with." So we forge connections on the basis of commonality.
Yes,
So if we don't see anything that is common, it's just not about personality traits or habits. It's just what are your views about. It's just anything that you feel good about, and somebody is sharing that. For example, that we three shared that vision in order to create a better community, better world. So that's why we created this, and that's why every week we do these wellness series.
yes,
And so far we have done, this is the episode 6, going strong. So this is what's like, we are connecting with each other socially and with people who are watching us. So social connection is all about taking that step towards betterment, and taking that step toward well-being of the society. That's what the significance important of social connections, because without social connections, nobody gets to know each other. This world is meaningless. So
absolutely.
social connection gives us meaning, social connection gives us power, social connection gives us thrives us. So it's everything. So yeah, that's what.
Agreed, and very well said. Social connection gives us meaning, it gives us power, it gives us a sense of purpose, it gives us energy.
Yeah.
I was reading that connection, human connection, is also defined as an energy exchange. between human beings, because we all are,
And touch
it,
each other's soul in a certain manner.
yeah, because we're all energy
Somebody's
at the
life.
end of the day.
Yeah.
Like human beings, everything that exists on the planet, we are made up of energy. And when you touch each other, when you connect with each other, when sort of like Misha was saying, you spread that warmth, that feeling of being heard, listened, understood, and it actually makes a huge difference on the way that you feel. My question to you, Havda, is, and this is what I was reading, and of course, we have experienced it, we know about it, we've heard about it. We're healthcare professionals, so we've read about it, in our courses. Um, let's take it from an interpersonal, individual's personal life. People who suffer setbacks like, broken relationships, or bad marriages, or loss of loved ones, like, or ending up unemployed, or being, any kind of travesty, in their lives. That is where social connection comes in to play, and that is where it actually is very powerful, because there are studies that say that, you know people who have consolidated meaningful social relationships manage to get back and bounce back much more quicker than people who are isolated or who don't have many social connections. And you can also term social connections as friends, peers, sort of fraternities, any kind of, it could be like your gym group, it could be your, spiritual retreat group, it could be your workplace, whatever. So, in those terms, when one suffers a setback in life, in your view, um, you know, how does that affect one's life, and where does human connection come in there? How does that it play its role? Like, would you be able to relate to something that you've experienced, or something that you've seen?
I think you've pretty much summarized the points pretty well, but just to elaborate on them, I do feel that we all have our own battles, our own struggles, our own day-to-day challenges that we're meeting with every now and then. There's work, there's education, there is the daily rut of things to get somewhere. Amidst all of these things, the journey is a lot easier when you have some connections around you, when you have people understanding what you need at that very time and very place and at that moment. I think I mentioned it in our previous podcast as well. That little moment that you're talking to somebody and they finish your sentences for you,
Yeah,
or when you're like, oh wow, you get it,
yeah,
or those little moments when you perform the same action as somebody else and tend to do that. That's a very powerful moment for you, and it's a very heartwarming feeling.
yeah,
It's very important, and I think a lot of the struggles of day-to-day life get a lot easier when you have people around you who constantly connect with you and are able to, and and they make the journey a lot easier. They make your battles a lot easier. It
yeah,
is quite a fact that your entire physiology changes when you're in a very good relationship. You'd meet somebody who's recently, let's say, gotten committed or something, and you would see something very different about their face. You would see
yes,
something about their body language. Their
yeah.
face
Glow, the
reflects
body
you at
language,
times.
smile. Yeah,
Yeah, their
Their
smile.
entire world is shifted. So
Exactly.
yeah,
It's like, and that shows, your face shows. And likewise, if you see somebody going through, let's say, a bad breakup, that shows in
yeah,
the body physiology as well. You'd see them break out into acne. You'd see
yeah,
them going through several other things which bring down their health. So, human connection is extremely important for physical health as well, which in turn is important to bear with the struggles of day to day life. So I do feel like one should, even though we're definitely, we introverts, we extroverts, or we ambiverts. However, having some close knit circle around you, one person or two people,
yes,
who get it, who know you enough to know when to let you, be, or when
yeah.
to connect with you and when to reach out for you, because that's a very important thing as well. Understanding the need for one's space is also a very important part of human connection. Like understanding that right now It's not a time to constantly force a connection, is also a part of sensible human connectivity. But having people who get that, having people who can sense your vibe, having a tribe around you or having one person who's that tribe is extremely, extremely essential for one's physical health and one's emotional health and one's spiritual well being as well. So that is what I'd have to say.
And
Agreed.
uh,
Agreed.
and I also want to add that once we were talking during our coffee chats
Yeah.
from last
Many,
year.
many of that kind of human
Yeah,
connection. You felt
yes,
it
Please.
and and then she mentioned that everyone should have a circle in life, a third circle,
Yes.
where they should go out and really connect, because you are meeting with your family, you are for work friends and your other friends on day to day basis, but
Mhm.
we need to have that third circle in order to come into our element, in order to come into our zone,
absolutely.
because what we need by the end of the day, to be heard, to be listened to be seen.
Yeah.
So, and
Belong. Sense of belonging, you know?
yes, we
But
need
this
that belong.
brings me to a very important point, and this is something that I keep telling a couple of my friends who struggle with the communication a lot.
Mm.
Who don't want to, like, this is not right and that is not right. And I'm like, have you tried making an effort to communicate? And they keep struggling at that, and I keep advising them that, what, talk to strangers too. As
Yeah.
much as it's nice to have one person around, it's also nice to have those little conversations with a stranger on a bus
Yeah.
or somebody you're on the way to at the newspaper stand, or you're trying to grab a coffee, and making those little things and doing things that just make up somebody's day. Telling somebody the scarf looks nice if it genuinely looks nice. Please don't necessarily compliment somebody, but if you find something nice and noticeable about somebody, acknowledging that, those little
Yeah.
little things are moments of human connection as well. And here are two people who are not related through work, through family, or through any kind of codependency or interdependency upon each other, and yet can give out a sense of connectivity, is a very beautiful feeling altogether. So I think people who want to learn how to communicate and build on interpersonal skills, talk to strangers, have communicate, like, talk to people you at the cafe with, maybe somebody you regularly see at the library, catch up with them. And that
And
just gives you a lot of insight into what the world is like. At the same time, it makes you feel like you're not alone either. It's a beautiful moment, and I think we should look forward to such moments.
it also brings you out of that bubble that you have created around yourself.
Yes,
So it's just keep you in that, turn you around. So
absolutely.
this so over to
Yeah.
you, Dr. Sana, that how do you form connections like?
How do you feel about? Because I think you're
Yeah.
very Dr. Sana.
Absolutely.
By the way, to our viewers, Dr. Sana is somebody who is a champion of
Yeah.
human connection. I would have to add that.
Sorry, Dr. Sana.
I think our
Yeah.
electric
I
connection is as much as we've been connecting with humans.
can, yeah. Can you girls hear me now? Have I
Y-
reconnected, or am I still like
No, no, no.
disrupted?
You are connected. You are connected. You
We're
are
quite
connected.
connected.
You're quite connected.
Okay. Okay. So, no, Hafsa, first of all, thank you for that beautiful compliment. And we are a tribe, right? You mentioned we need to have a tribe, and we are so lucky. And I'm truly grateful, and I feel truly blessed to have this tribe of ours. And, I know we've talked about how the Norway started and how we met each other. But, for those who haven't heard that, or, got onto that first introductory, I do want to bring it up again, that what happened with us, and today that we're such close friends, such dear friends. First of all, we're friends, we're sisters, and then we are, and that is why this is our baby, like our dream or whatever, and that's why we feel even more connected through this. And I'm so lucky and grateful to have that, and it is only through human connection, the power of
Yeah.
human connection. Like, here we were, we didn't know each other from Adams. We came from different, absolutely different walks of life. We're differently aged. I being the eldest of them all, just making it very clear. So, I'm the oldest non sister here. But, like, little did I know that I would walk into this class and I would make such meaningful, uh, you know, relationship in the form of like these beautiful human beings who become my friends for life, hopefully. I mean, and it was through human connection, through the power of human connection. So, yes, like you were saying, Hamza, it's so important to, and I guess like what I was saying earlier on, it's not intrinsic, it doesn't come naturally. A lot of people struggle with creating human connection. That a lot of people are lonely. A lot of people cannot communicate or do not have it in them to want to connect. We're all at different phases of our life, and we're all differently biologically attuned as well. But yes, the emphasis that you made on making an effort to communicate, I think that is a very important point when it comes to human connection. Because some people might just say, okay, well, I can't do it. I'm a very private person. I'm a very quiet person. I'm differently wired. Like here we are, let's say. But if you are so, there is nothing wrong with putting in an effort to connect and communicate more effectively. You could still be private. You could still be, quiet. But and I feel like like you said, in one sentence, just complimenting somebody or saying something kind can be the icebreaker or can make your day as well, because you never know what the other person has to say back to you. And then I think it comes into play in the hospitality industry, in businesses. Um, you especially see this in the hospitality industry. You will see it in the healthcare industry, like you mentioned earlier on. And I believe today's age and time, it's in every business and every aspect of life that a positive human connection is so important. So you might remember, if you check yourself into a hotel room, and if there is a nice, bellboy, who comes in and greets you like with a smile. Good morning, ma'am. How are you? How's your doing? Kaisi thi aap? In whatever, and you just feel welcome. Although that person is a stranger, you've paid your money. It's your room.
Absolutely.
You've done everything to earn and feel like you are in that. That's your room. But you won't feel that sense of belonging and connection with that hotel or whatever until you get greeted. Or so it's so important, right? If somebody greets you with a smile, with some warmness, with some compassion, instantly connect. Instantly, that entire sense of identity, the way you're identifying with that certain like hotel, for example, or even with the hospital. You're saying that
Yeah.
you're just it's your day-to-day professional life. Like if you greet a client with a smile right before you start your root canal, which is I find quite scary. But if I'm greeted by like a very friendly, doesn't have to have a lengthy conversation,
Yeah.
but just a smile, some nice words, instantly you'll break the ice. The patient feels, as a patient, you feel more secure, more comfortable. You feel like, okay, I've come to the right person, right place. And you could have somebody top of the line, top of the notch, very skilled, very well renowned, well reputed. But if that doctor, if that consultant is snooty, is like, uh, very kind of uptight, unfriendly, instantly you walk into the room and you say, oh my God, I'm not sure. I heard good things about this certain someone, but so unfriendly. Instantly you feel insecure. That sense of discomfort comes in, and this is why it's so
Exactly.
important to have
Yeah.
human connection. And this is why. So I am currently, like, you girls know, and we are in a master's course. I took up that course, and you girls are taken up as well. But you know, employee engagement. So when we were doing that, and I want to bring it up because that's all that employee engagement is about. And the way that employee engagement is defined is that it is this emotional sense of belonging that an employee feels towards the organization. So the word emotional
Absolutely.
sense of belonging comes up. It's not the sense of commitment. It's not the sense of contractual obligation, or the sense of sort of that I have to put in. It's more like the emotional belonging, and it is said that companies, I mean, the employee engagement is an extremely instrumental part of organizational development right now, and it's the organizations lose billions of dollars worldwide where they're lacking in this particular aspect. And it's all about the employee's emotional sense of belonging. And that is again where human connection comes in. And now you have researches and workshops and training that organizations are doing, and they want employees to feel happy, so they socially cater to their needs. Give them memberships of gyms, whatever, like uh, time out, friendly, sort of working environment. So it comes into play everywhere. Like you cannot
Yeah.
sort of ignore it. But having said that, I want to go back to what is what is the difference between someone who is socially who has that sense of social belonging through any community and somebody who's left out and lonely. You know what? Tell me. I want to hear your girls' views, and I know that you research and you have data on it. So I want you to share with our viewers why is it so important? Like if somebody is lonely, right?
Yeah.
Lonely itself is a negative, and it makes you sad, and it's a negative emotion to have. So what does it do to your health, your mental state, or your emotional state? Everything. So Misha, you start first.
Thank you so much for bringing this up, since it's my topic of research and I have so much data on it. Since in healthcare, people, especially the employers, do not pay attention towards this connection in order to like emotional well-being. Because in
Mm.
healthcare, it's all about, sadly in our country, because there's some certain organization which are private who are focusing on the part of growth and emotional development of people, but some really need to work upon. So the importance of this connection at workplace is that when an employee is hurt, the psychosocial working condition, if they are favorable, the psychosocial working condition are the physical and the emotional environment around yourself. If then an employee is seen and heard, and not just, it's not just about money, it's about being respected, and the ideas that are taken into account by their employers. So, if they are respected, if they feel revered at their institute, they want to pursue into that role for a very long time. So you do not. My this I believe strongly that you do not choose a job, you choose a boss,
You choose
and
a boss. That's a
yes,
wonderful.
yes, and when you choose a boss, and then eventually your entire environment is based on that, because you spend 8 hours of your day on that job. So if you are not being connected, you're
Actually,
not.
you could
Yes,
have spent longer, like
Also
half
say
your
that.
life.
yeah,
Also say
yes,
that.
but and in healthcare, people spend 11 to 12 hours, and then the burnout prevalence is more in healthcare field. So if, because that's why they're feeling left out, because they don't have enough resources, and they don't have those kind of connection at work, because every time they're into that, because healthcare job is quite stressful, and especially due to this pandemic,
Yeah.
people have been like given so much. So just a request to all the healthcare organizations who eventually, if they get a chance to watch us, just finally create an environment that what triggers a behavior, what triggers a negative behavior at work, try to minimize those situations and try to create healthy practices at work, so that it can incorporate into employees wellness and well-being. So
Yeah,
that's a message. That's a take home message.
that's a great message. Hamza, what do you have to comment on that? Taking from there.
Well, Misha elaborated on this really well, and I'm glad that she happens to be somebody who is also currently running her research on this. My research goes a little extensive on this, on the very, very negative aspects of not being able to understand employees in general, but the idea centrally stems from the same problem that when you don't connect with those around you, when you don't understand their needs or take an effort to do so, a lot of time your efforts will be misled or misdirected. You will not be able to, you'll be making a lot of effort, but not understanding somebody else's need, those
Yeah,
efforts would go down the drain. Like,
futile.
for example, I know genius people, or people who are really enthusiastic or ambitious, who really want to do something about the world and they have good ideas to go about it, but just because they're not making enough effort to connect with another human in a way that they want to, in making efforts that help them understand people in general or help them communicate those ideas better, connect with them and share those ideas better, that effort is and that genius is all going down the drain. I feel like it's a very essential component of basic life skills now. As much as cooking is, as much as driving is, the ability to connect with one human is something quite equally essential. I mean, like you mentioned, Dr. Sana, that in the hospitality industry, if somebody greets you very well, you feel so amazing. Likewise, the staff at cafes is also quite well trained to make those connections over and over again. When they know your usual for the day, it's always nice to go into a familiar cafe and they know your usual for the day. So, oh, you want that particular cappuccino or that particular latte? Would that be so? It's
And
a
it's hard,
moment of
right? You instantly feel like, oh, I belong here.
exactly, exactly,
Like, just that one gesture.
Yeah.
exactly. So that really changes things around you. You should try and look up to people who, whether it's in smaller capacities, bigger capacities, in all walks of life, are constantly making that effort enough to do so.
Yep.
Um, I feel very. I'm sure all of us have people in the family who did that, and we can remember. Children are very well affected by this particular topic that we've touched upon right now. If you notice, babies and little children, they're very sensitive to what human is connecting well and what human is not. You might be a mother who's doing so much for the child, but if you can't make that connection with your child, and that human connection, and sometimes some parents do at times fail to. I mean, that's a reality.
Let
Um,
me add that. Let me add that to that because I work with like most of the pediatric population as a speech language therapist.
Yeah,
So those are,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
and every day we are interviewing parents. We are interviewing uh, like children, and they're very it's young age, like from 1 to 2, and I've seen progress in those clients who have a very good relationship, who have a very strong connection with their parents.
parents,
They,
yes.
yeah, their parents are, and then that connection is not about control. It's about being like letting their little one being understood, that okay,
Yes.
they understood their
Absolutely,
message, and
absolutely,
they're
absolutely.
not just worried about like where will they go. They just want that what's the next step and how we can go about it. So
Yeah, and
that,
Misha, like since you work in speech and language therapy, and again, that is something that has caught on a lot of interest and attention in the last decade because,
yes,
since the evolution of the IT, the progress of the IT industry, and now, of course, like we're almost completely digitalized, uh, human beings, I would say, after in the pandemic, and I believe that was an ongoing process even before, but currently, like, kids are online and all of that. You definitely will have data and research, and it has got to do with their speech and language development, right? So toddlers and infants whose parents spend more time spending time with them, being involved, connecting with them, talking to them. Although little kids, infants and toddlers can't speak, but speaking with them, interacting with them,
yes,
spending time to play, time to read. Those children are less likely to have speech and language impairments as compared to children whose parents are not involved in that manner, who don't spend time to play, who don't spend time to read, time to get involved in taking care. I mean, like you said, Hafza, like, not all parents are equipped, and it's true. Like, parents love their children unconditionally, but again, that's where behavior comes in, right? There are parents who love their kids unconditionally, but perhaps they're not aware that you could hand a toddler. It's very easy to hand a toddler candy these days. I call that candy that digital gadget. The lollipop is a
mm,
digital gadget. Even as little as a 4 or 5 month year old, as soon as the weaning process starts, there's the iPad and there's the feeding starts, right? And you can't. And the point comes where your child can't do without it, can't be fed without looking at some kind of you know
screen,
song or some kind
yeah,
of
screen.
time, and the parent and the mother can't feed her kid or whatever. So is it, and they are more likely to have speech and language impairment. Their speeches are delayed, right? And that
Yeah.
is an empirical data that's there. That kids who are given more screen time, whose parents get less involved, they have more delayed speech. So you tell me, is that true? And how true is that?
It's true,
Won't
100% true.
I think
Yes, yes,
this should be
it's
the topic, but like we'll just comment on that quickly.
yes, because that's another story, and we can talk like the entire day on this and how we should go about it. But yes, it's true, and yes, parents are guilty and during feeding time, showing screens to their little ones. But What they are doing is like they're very from when we were young, we didn't have access to the screens
Yeah.
as the children of this era has.
Yeah, it's like an
So
instant pacifier, right? Like
yes,
pacifier,
Yeah.
whatever.
yes,
If you're busy, oh, I'm busy, I'm doing my own thing, I need to work, or I need my downtime, but you give the iPad or
yes.
whatever.
But during this pandemic, people like parents who were busy have forged a new connection with their little ones. We have seen progress in them. The thing where telling them that this is how you need to spend time with your little one, and this is how you need to expand on the language. This is how you need to work on their speech impairments. So they were able to do so. But yeah, if there's any like every child has its own speed of development, but when they are not being heard or seen or being understood, they are likely they will get a charm like they get speech and language delays and speech impairments. But during this pandemic, we have seen improvement, and we have seen regression as well. So both of them, but that's both ways. So just to
And I
conclude it,
believe that the improvement part must come in relation to parents who ended up somehow spending more time with their kids, and the
yes,
regression is related to parents who ended up, for any reason,
yeah,
who ended up having more screen time. And that's,
yeah,
like I said, another debate, and we will. That's a good topic for next time. And you've written an amazing article on our website as well about digital
yeah,
detox,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Yeah.
you've a lot of important points there. So anybody who's interested to find out more can go to our website at thenormal.com and read up Misha's article about digital detox. But getting back, this is, this was my question, and I feel like we have still to answer it in more clarity, and I'm going to ask again. So I read up, and it's established, research and known fact that people in communities and societies who are feeling lonely, who are struggling to make connections. Um, Social connections have a direct impact on a person's individual's health, individual's mental state, emotional state, and longevity, right? And then, of course, like we there's plenty of data available on that. But to those individuals, right now, who are struggling, who are feeling lonely, who are feeling left out, who've been affected by some kind of mishap, setback in their life, some kind of tragedy, personal, professional, whichever it is. So people who are struggling in this moment, and then we have the pandemic. So there is this enforced isolation that's been put onto our lives, and it doesn't make life easy for anybody, let alone for people who are already feeling lonely and left out and who are struggling.
Absolutely.
So, like, what advice would you girls have to give to them? What can be done about that?
The thing is, I'll take the opportunity to answer this. Human connection is essential for mental health. First things, very importantly. You know how it's very nice to see that a lot of helplines nowadays are going about suicide prevention helplines and helplines that address depression. All they want to the common slogans and taglines all say that we're just a message away, we're a call away, we're
Yes.
just we're just an email away. We're just away, by a minute, and you just need to make a little effort or to reach out somebody or have somebody reach out to you. It's very, very essential. Um, of those of you who are watching this, I'll just add a little trigger warning here that we're going to address certain sensitive topics. Suicide prevention happens a lot because of human connection. If you
Mm.
have somebody reaching out to you in time and telling you that it's okay, that you're feeling sad, or that it not all is lost, or going out reaching somebody, having a heartfelt conversation, it makes a lot of impact. It saves lives. Human connection is that important. So
Mm.
as much as you have these, nowadays we're trying our level best to have healthcare systems worldwide recognize the importance of investing in mental health so much, is because of this particular thing. As a surgeon is important, as a physician is important, likewise people dealing with human connectivity and human connection are absolutely essential as well, because they're the ones quite saving lives as well. So I do feel this is extremely important. If you feel sad, You feel down. You feel like, you're the only one struggling. I can say this for a fact that you need to. I know for a fact that those days you don't have the energy at times to do anything, but if you have even some in you, do talk to somebody about it. And likewise, for all of us, if there is some way of us reaching out to somebody in some manner where we can, we feel full enough to go ahead and hold somebody else's hand virtually or physically, and let them know that they're not alone struggling with what they are, and that these battles are not only theirs, and that all of us as humans have some form of the other challenges going on, and some way or the other, and that it's all okay, and that we're in this together. uh, this is an important aspect of human connection, and it's something that we should keep extending over and over again.
Yes, true. And yeah, absolutely agreed. And that's a very important point. And Misha, what do you have to say about that? You know, people who are struggling with loneliness or depression, or who are generally feeling left out, um, how does human connection play a role? I mean, I would just, before I ask you, I would say that, like Hafza was saying, there is therapy available, there are care providers, and like we mentioned, it's important to have a tribe, and that tribe doesn't have to be a village. It could literally be one other person, any friend, and it could be a helpline, a call, whatever. So what do you have to say about that, Misha?
First of all, I want to say that it's not a stigma that being suicidal or something like that. People just don't talk about it because these are very sensitive issues considered in our society, especially.
Yeah, yeah,
So, well, one has to accept it first, and first is understanding and acceptance, and the
yeah.
second is openness,
Hmm.
that if you feel it comes from within, that because there is no reason for depression, there is no reason for being suicidal, there's no reason. It's just like we need to be very conscious in our day to day lifestyle, that not to be rude to someone because we don't know what are they going through.
Yeah,
So we don't know what are they going through, so be very mindful that to be kind, to do the good part on our side, so to just a kind smile, just to take in trust, because I like, in this fast moving world, we're all about ourselves, that how are we going to do about ourselves, how are we going to finish our day, how are we going to finish our goals, what are our goals, but we never think about that other person, that he didn't smile at me today, he used to be that very jolly person in that circle. Then
mm,
no wonder why is this happening. So we never stop for a moment to think and realize that they want to be heard as well, because we are seeing that glitters, we are never I think conditioned or programmed in such a way that we need to sit for a while and look and talk to someone at a deeper level.
mm,
So just to listen, and it's just an advice for someone, that listen and be present in the moment and see those little signs, and just a kind smile and pay attention, or towards them. This is And people who are suicidal or in depressed, what you can do at your part is just to be there for them,
yeah,
and just a listening hand, and refer them. And because these days mental health awareness is so much in our society, so just a note to them that we are there for them. So
right.
this is my say on that.
Yes, and I agree. Practicing compassion, kindness, love towards others, and not always being centered towards yourself. Because like you said, in this chaotic world, and it's become a very egocentric world as well. With there is so much attention on image and on fame and on how much money someone has or what's someone's label like, and you never know what those people are struggling with as well. So one lesson is withhold from judgments, right? Don't
Yeah,
be in a rush and haste to judge people so quickly. Give people the room and the benefit and room for compassion and kindness. Don't be in a haste to
yeah,
judge someone. You never know what their struggle is. Likewise, for yourself, practice. That's where self-love, and I always want to bring it up, and we always bring it up, and this forum is about that as well. wellness will come from self love, loving yourself. You may be struggling, you may be hurt deeply, wounded deeply, something terrible must have happened, and you feel like, maybe that's the end of it, and what's the point? But no, there is it's not the end of it, and life goes on. And like Buddha has said that, there is no path to happiness. Happiness itself is a path. So happiness is not, or being happy is not a sort of permanent state that any human being can be. Our life is suffering. We all go through challenges. But yes, for individuals, practice compassion, love, and we must, cherish our lives as well. And I guess that's to end it on that note. This is all where the power of human connection comes in. It comes in binding societies, building relationships, interpersonal, work relationships, interprofessional, building healthy communities, healthy societies, and again, at the end of the day, healthy, prosperous nations, right? And you will see that, uh, countries that have put in the work as societies, communities, it's a long way that they started out. It was a long journey. They just didn't get there. And good examples are, you have Sweden, you have Norway, and then you have countries that are not focused on, building their societies. And but individuals have to play their part. And on an ending note, please, let's make this resolution today to not be quick in our judgments, and practice compassion and kindness. And we will make an extra effort, conscious effort, to create that spark of human connection, and
Yeah.
that magical ingredient. We may not all have these visible magic wands, but we do have magic, and that is in the magic of human connection. So,
So
anything else you girls want to add to this?
just form connection, and we are here, and we want you to make connection, healthy connection with us. Just if you have any queries, just email us at the nornway at gmail.com, and we will get back to you. And we are happy to form connections with all of you. And
Absolutely, absolutely. Dr. Hamza.
she's like unmute.
Wishing you all very happy conversations, very meaningful conversations, and meaningful
Yeah.
relationships.
So bye.
Happy weekend. Bye bye.
Bye.